Hello there, I'm Lorraine Kelly and I'm a TV presenter, but much more importantly, I'm an honorary colonel of the Army Cadet Force. It has been such an honour and it's been brilliant to meet so many fantastic young people who do such a brilliant job and who really enjoy themselves. And Cadet 150, well, it's just been fantastic, hasn't it? Yeah!
The Army Cadet Force, the Air Training Corps, the Sea Cadet Corps and the Combined Cadet Force. Between them they have over 130,000 members across the UK. It's one of the biggest youth organisations in the country, and in 2010 it celebrated its 150th birthday. The official launch of Cadet 150 in Scotland was at the Science Centre in Glasgow. And it was the start of a year which would allow cadets to tell of their own experiences about being in the cadets. The many activities on offer, the fun of taking part, the challenges and opportunities, and what being in the cadets means to a young person today.
We're here today to launch 150 years of celebration of the Cadets of Scotland. Over 150 years they have been helping young people to grow in themselves, and that has had immense benefit both to the individual and to society.
For me, it's a wonderful opportunity, I think, just to give something back and pass on all my sort of experience, if you like, from team building and leadership to these young cadets. And I think they've proved already over the 150 years what a wonderful organisation they have been. You know, they get so much out of it. You can just see that on their faces. The lessons that they're learning are lessons for life.
I've seen a lot of young people very engaged in what they're doing and very impressed themselves by what they get to do when they get involved with the cadets, and also the element of self-discipline that they learn. So a very worthwhile experience for those that have been involved, and it's great to see so many partners coming together in support of the 150th anniversary. Obviously this is wider societal benefit. Can be a benefit to the armed forces for recruitment, but it can be a benefit to future employers because they're having people coming with life skills they wouldn't otherwise have. So a very valuable thing to be doing.
As the convener of Scottish Borders Council, I'm very keen that we should engage more with the young people, and the young people in the cadet movement get a huge amount of benefit from the cadets and then feed that back into the Borders community, and I hope have a beneficial effect on their peers. They get the opportunity to achieve something that they don't necessarily get at home. The cadets give the youngsters an opportunity to test themselves and to prove themselves and to come out with an achievement at the end of it, something that they can feel proud of. Kids from dysfunctional backgrounds respond really well to discipline, and you see that in the cadets as well. They like to have a structure to their lives. Order is very good for young folk. It gives them something to relate to, and I think they respond well to it.
I'm here to support the launch of Cadet 150 in Scotland in particular, but obviously it's going nationally. And I think what we're going to celebrate is some 10,000 cadets of all the types, Navy, Army and Air Force, across Scotland, and 1,000 adult volunteers who look after them and doing all the activities that they do. I mean, they are very much a youth organisation. Some of them, of course, come and join the services, and they make extremely good service when they do join us. But the main thing is to give youth a real step up in life, I think. What struck me is that they're very confident. They don't mind standing up in front of whoever we are and saying how much they enjoy the cadet organisation, how much they get from it. So they're a fantastic advert, and I think the people visiting will go away with that message.
What we've seen is how the cadet forces are giving our young people an opportunity to develop confidence, to develop skills, and these are social skills as well as very practical skills. I think a lot of that is also what's missing from much of our education system at the moment. I think if young people are given the opportunity and the encouragement, they pick up an activity. They're looking for excitement. They're trying to make the best of their lives. And I think that what I've seen today is something that offers them a step in that ladder.
In any year, cadets will be involved in a wide range of activities. But in this Cadet 150 year, there were lots of special events in Scotland, and we'll be looking at some of these later in this video. We'll also look at the history of the cadet organisations and what being a cadet means to young people today. In addition to finding out what the cadets gain from being in the organisation, we'll see how these same young people give something back to the local community. We'll also look at the qualifications that can be gained by cadets, that will be useful to them whatever they choose to do later in life. And the importance of adult volunteers to ensure that cadet activities are carried out in a safe and structured way. And for all this time we'll be in the company of the many young people who joined the cadets simply to live the adventure. In April, Cadet Fest 150 was held at the Braehead Shopping Centre near Glasgow. A wide range of cadet activities were on display for the 60,000 members of the public who visited the centre over the weekend.
This morning we've been doing the field gun competition, which is basically a race to build up the gun and get to the finish line. We were competing against the Sea Cadet Corps and we actually managed to win against them.
Been in the Air Training Corps for 3.5 years. I joined because I'm currently looking into joining the RAF as a pilot.
My future prospects are to hopefully do my Duke of Edinburgh Silver and my BTEC Diploma in Public Services.
The camaraderie is amazing, it's really good. Like when something bad happens, like all your friends are there for you, and when something good happens, like everyone's cheering you on, it's amazing.
Well, I joined a year ago and I just joined to just try something new. I want to go to the RFA, which is the Royal Fleet Auxiliary, which they support the Royal Navy. I wanted to do that, and I thought this would be our stepping stone to it.
In June, in Edinburgh's Princes Street Gardens, the cadets offered members of the public the opportunity to have a go at a whole range of cadet activities.
I used to hate all things military. My dad was a military man and I didn't ever see myself doing that, but it was absolutely amazing. Everything from the flying, the gliding, just meeting new people. It gives you the confidence to stand up in front of your classmates at school and to say, no guys, we need to get this done, or even in group work at school life as well.
I've always kind of fancied the lifestyle, but I thought I was maybe too old or didn't really know how to get in, so my friend helped me get in and she's at my squadrons. But you do fit in, and they were all very welcoming and they get you sorted quickly with first class and things like that, so you're very soon after part of it.
There are cadet units in Scotland from Shetland to the borders, from the inner cities to remote rural communities. A total of around 11,000 cadets supported by over 1,000 adult volunteers. Although most cadet units are located in the community, the Combined Cadet Force are closed units for pupils in both state and independent schools. While some activities may be central to just one of the cadet organisations, all cadets have the opportunity to take part in a wide range of activities. To some cadets, getting involved in music means more than just the latest MP3 downloads. Each year in Inverness, pipers and drummers from throughout the cadet forces get together to improve their musical skills. There are almost 200 young musicians on this week-long course. It's the 10th year of the course, and for some cadets, it's an annual event.
This is my 4th Inverness, and I've just achieved the rank of Pipe Major. Out with the cadets, I play for the House of Edgar Shots and Dykehead Pipe Band, and I'm also a member of the National Youth Pipe Band of Scotland. Do a lot of the solos, and I'm currently the Scottish Pipers Association Junior Champion.
This is my first Inverness, and just been practising, just going over some of the brigade tunes and that. Hopefully next year I'll go into the parade with my pipes.
It's taken me about 4 years to get where I am now. It's a great experience, great tutors, it's really good. I was in the cadets, and then I found out there was a cadet pipe band, and I started to learn pipes. I've reached grade 3 and I've just passed my grade 4 theory, so I've got my grade 4 playing to do. So after that, that'll be the top of the top.
This year I've come back, this is my 3rd year, and I'm doing tenor. So I swapped, I was doing side the other 2 years. Well, the first 2 years I learned quite a bit of side, I did my level 2. And then this year I've actually gone up to intermediate, so it's really good teaching because you're doing it all day, so you learn quite a lot.
Well, I got my first chanter when I was about 5. I was learning chanter for about 4 years, and I started playing the pipes when I was 9. Some people only get to practice once a year, and that's when they come to Inverness, because you're getting a whole 9 days piping. So it really does benefit you a lot.
Well, I joined Army Cadets 3 years ago. Originally I did piping, but now drumming for a year. Learned how to march with so many people and do the wheeling and turning and stuff. It's a lot harder. So you need to learn how to do that as well.
I only started last month, and I just decided to do it to be different, because I've always been in the cadets but I've never been to drumming, so I just thought I'd try it out, and I love it.
The piping concentration at Inverness trains the young pipers and drummers to a level where they gain nationally accredited music qualifications. And the culmination of a week of concentrated musical training is a series of public performances.
It's quite unique being a piper in the cadets. It's something I didn't ever actually plan to do. I didn't realise I was piping in the cadets until I was told about this, and I decided to put my name down for it. It turns out it's absolutely brilliant. Get to meet all the other forces, Sea Cadets, Army Cadets. It's phenomenal. It's just such a great feeling. Feel like a military band. It's just something I've always wanted to do. I enjoy it. It's absolutely really good. Really good. It's a good feeling. Everyone watching you kind of hands start to shake, but seeing parents out in the crowd and stuff, it's good. I enjoy it. I've been piping about 4 or 5 years, so I'm up in a grade 2 pipe band, so it's quite a high standard of piping. It's hard work to try and get that level, but it's worth it in the end.
Entertaining the public's that's what I like doing. It's brilliant. It's really good. I can't explain. It's just really good.
Pretty nerve-wracking, but really fun. Really adrenaline. Really proud that you're part of it.
The origins of both the Army Cadet Force and the Sea Cadet Corps can be traced to around the 1860s, when following heavy losses in the Crimean War, the government felt the need to call for volunteers to be ready to defend the country. As well as the farmhands and factory workers who joined the volunteers, schools organised the older boys into Cadet Corps. The first record of cadet units being formed in Scotland was in Kirkcaldy in 1860. Meanwhile, the Naval Lads Brigade was formed to help the orphans of sailors in their home ports, the fledgling start of the Sea Cadet Corps. Over time, the threat to the country receded, but the benefits of discipline and the useful skills that had been instilled into the boys had not gone unnoticed. Victorian philanthropists, including Miss Octavia Hill, who was also one of the founders of the National Trust, wanted to actively encourage the virtues of cleanliness, discipline and honesty, and to promote in boys a sense of citizenship. So she formed the East London Cadet Corps in 1889, and she was instrumental in giving the cadet movement a social as well as a military aim. The school cadet units also flourished, providing a steady stream of junior officers and soldiers. The success of the Naval Lads Brigade in helping poor young boys from the back streets of Britain's ports led to the formation of the Navy League. Between the First and Second World Wars, government support for the cadet movements declined. However, many managed to survive with private funding, and in Scotland the Scottish cadet movement flourished, with some of the Army Cadet Force detachments of today being able to trace their history back to this time. During World War II, the fledgling Air Cadet Corps developed, and Air Cadets began to work on RAF stations. They were invaluable to the war effort at home. It was in 1938 that Greenock and District Sea Cadets were established, and during the war the cadets were given the job of mine watching along the Clyde boom defence. The cadets also operated a boat called the Loch Torridon, maintained by the many cadets who were serving apprenticeships in the local shipyards. The Second World War saw a huge expansion in the cadet forces, and many of today's units were formed at that time. Since the war, the cadets have continued to evolve, with training, uniforms and equipment being updated to meet the needs of a modern, dynamic youth organisation.
I enjoy it very much. It's a challenge as well, especially for a girl. More people think it's for boys, but at first there was a lot of boys and I thought I was kind of overruled, but then as the years went past, more girls have joined. I've made lots of friends in the cadets, but mostly my friends are outside. They think it's more of a boy thing and they don't really like it because it's all muddy and stuff.
I just joined because, well, I thought it would get me closer to joining the RAF and become a weapons operator as part of an aircrew.
It's given more self-confidence, self-discipline, hundreds of life skills that I've gained out of it. I want to be a marine engineer, but I'm actually on an apprenticeship now, and when I finish my time there, I'm thinking about moving on to the Royal Navy.
Sometimes at school, some people slag me for going down to cadets, but I just think I'm in it, you're not, and I'm happy to be there. I'm going to join the army when I'm older, so if I have the skills that I've got them now, and then when I go to the army I might have more skills.
I've learned so much through it, like how to look after myself and how to look after others as well, and it's something you'll take you through to adult life. I plan on joining the Navy, so I wouldn't have thought about the Navy unless I joined the cadets. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, it's good because you get to do things that you wouldn't normally do, go flying, go shooting, go abroad, go to camps. You wouldn't really get to do that in a normal life, and you get the discipline, teamwork skills, leadership skills and skills you can use in the rest of your life.
I like first aid. When I grow up I might want to be in first aid, do something about medical, because I've got diabetes and it's good to expand on that and tell people about it.
I was walking home from school, I just seen this young man lying on the ground. He went to stand up and there was like an oval, like a slit in his leg, and a moped lying inside, and there was lots of blood on the ground. I asked one of my friends to phone an ambulance and asked one of my friends to go to the nearest house to see if they had a first aid kit. But unfortunately I didn't have one, so we had to use like tea towels. So once we got the tea towels, I had wrapped them around his leg, the back of his leg, and then just kept putting direct pressure onto it. And then the first response paramedics just came. Well, now that I think back, I actually think I've done a good job, and I'm realising that it was something quite good that I'd done. I was wondering to myself, why did I just do that? I was thinking, I'm only 13, so why am I doing something like that? But I thought, what if he's not going to be okay? Is he going to survive and stuff like that?
First aid is not the only skill that will be useful to cadets in later life. The Cadet Vocational Qualifications Organisation gives older cadets and adult volunteers the opportunity to gain internationally recognised vocational qualifications.
The main part of the BTEC involved our own cadet training, so most of it we'd already worked on, but additional to that we had to do 2 booklets which involved the public services, interviews and CVs, learning how to complete these things properly for going for job interviews. It has been of great advantage to me. I actually managed to get into Reed College to do my nursing, which there was a large intake for it, and my BTEC qualifications and my cadet training actually kind of gave me an advantage against everybody else. It showed commitment and it showed a level of willingness to work.
It's probably the best known international award for young people, and cadets have been gaining the Duke of Edinburgh's award since it began back in 1956.
Currently I've completed both my bronze and silver. I'm waiting to do my residential for the gold. You have to do a service section, a skill section, a physical section and the residential, where you spend 5 days away from anywhere you know, so you can't go with friends or family, you have to make friends.
It's funny because you look back at it and you're like, man, did I actually do that? I mean, it was just like yesterday, but now you're in the house, you know, you're back to your schoolwork, back meeting your friends just normally. 3 days and 2 nights, you know, out in the middle of nowhere. We had a tent and a rucksack and all we needed was food and just walking. So it was good. It was a good learning curve actually.
For my skill I did the wing marksman badge, and I went down to the range and shot the .22 rifles at targets and tried to get my best score possible. I do feel I've achieved something because if I hadn't completed it I would have just felt like I just couldn't be bothered, but I did, I stuck with it. It was hard, but I just kept going.
The Army Cadet Forces Outreach Project works in partnership with schools, local police and communities. It seeks to help crime-vulnerable and socially disadvantaged boys and girls become responsible citizens by using team-based adventurous and challenging activities. Since it started in 1994, nearly 9,000 young boys and girls across the UK have taken part in the project.
Well, we had an assembly and the head teacher told us about it and asked for volunteers. And most hands shot straight up, so there was a mixed hat to pick out the names. My outreach was the first outreach to do primary schools. Took about 30 of us. We camped and generally just got stuck in. It was good. It was a change from everyday life because there isn't really an experience like it. It'll be one of the better decisions I've made in my life. You do outreach and then there's an open night. And that was basically what I'd done, and I've been in cadets ever since.
We did an outreach project and we did a range of activities on mountain biking, hill walking, stuff like that. And she asked us at the end if we were interested in joining, and there was quite a lot of us that liked it, so we signed up for it, and it's quite good. Enjoyed it. It was good fun. My behaviour changed, and that's just it's changed my life because most of my time's taken up by cadets now. So you really want to go to every weekend, every opportunity you can get, you want to go to it.
Although most cadet units are located in the community, the combined cadet force are closed units for pupils in both state and independent schools, and can include Navy, Army and RAF sections. There are some 240 CCF contingents, with around 40,000 cadets throughout the UK, 2,000 in Scotland. The CCF at Loretto School was formed in 1910, and their dancing skills are on display on the esplanade of Edinburgh Castle in early June, as part of a public celebration of Cadet 150. As we have already seen, first aid is an important and potentially life-saving subject in the syllabus. And like so many activities in the cadets, giving it a competitive element helps maintain interest and improve skills.
We started off our Scottish competition. We were also Air Cadets and Sea Cadets. We won down at Sandhurst. We started off in a team test. This included a casualty who had burns and one unconscious with a head injury. Me and my team went in, helped with the burns and put the unconscious casualty into a recovery position for that ambulance.
Some cadets love it, others say they hate it. But being smart on parade is an essential part of being in the cadets. And drill is more than just getting from A to B in an orderly manner. It's something to show off with pride. The final event of the evening, the massed pipes and drums and the military bands of the Cadet Forces in Scotland. The success of the cadets is almost entirely due to the contribution of the adult volunteers who organise and supervise the many activities in a safe and structured way.
The adult volunteers are a remarkable bunch of people. They dedicate so much of their time, energy, effort and enthusiasm to running their units and all the great activities that cadets get up to. They come from all walks of life, but they share a common passion for working with young people and helping them develop into confident, capable and caring young people.
I was at Claybank Detachment when I was 13, just a small recruit. Worked my way up the ranks until I was 18. I decided to become an adult instructor for the cadets. I loved it as a cadet and thought, well, if I liked it then another child would like it. So sort of giving something back. I love it when they come in as a recruit, when they're 12, 13, and then they turn 14, 15 with all their friends and they get a bit cheeky and they're 1 star, 2 star. And then when they're older and they're a senior cadet and they've done so well, they're a senior of a company, all the adults respect them, all the cadets respect them, and you just know that you've helped that person become better in themselves.
The Cadet Training Centre at Frimley Park in Surrey provides training for officers and instructors of the ACF and CCF.
Training based on their star levels.
The centre also holds courses for cadets, including the Cadet Leadership course, open to senior cadets from all the cadet forces.
I went down with 4 people from my battalion. We all got split up, and so far that's been my most enjoyable course. I was the only Scottish boy in my section, but it was a great experience. It's developed me loads. All different battalions, all different skills, just all brings it together. Well, after they got over the language and barriers, it all started to bond. Yeah, I'm still keep contact with the 12 people in my squad.
And as an appropriate lead to the Cadet 150 year, the Cadet Training Centre celebrated its 50th anniversary in 2009, an occasion recognised by the Colonel-in-Chief of the Army Cadet Force, His Royal Highness Prince Philip. In addition to meeting the staff and students, he inspected the cadets and took the salute at the passing-off parade of a Master Cadet course. Another royal event south of the border that involved Scottish cadets was the Royal Review in London. Cadets from across the services paraded down the Mall, with the salute taken by Prince Charles.
Parade, it was amazing. Air cadets, sea cadets, army cadets, lots of different pipe bands. Felt brilliant. We marched in through the main gates of Buckingham Palace. There was lots of people watching us, right round the side and into the back garden where the big buffets, and Prince Charles was standing there to meet us all. I shook Prince Charles' hand. He was just asking questions like how long I had been in cadets, did I enjoy it, what was my favourite activities. Just so thrilled that I was in Buckingham Palace. I mean, I've always looked at it on TV and thought, oh, I'd love to go there, and I was there. It was just brilliant.
Cadets have the opportunity to take part in a wide range of sports, both as individuals and as part of a team, from local events to national competitions.
This is Wing Athletics for Glasgow West of Scotland Wing. It's to pick a team to compete at region, so yeah, it's really good fun. I've had great experiences with competitions in the Air Training Corps. For 2 years in a row I've competed for the regional team, Scotland Northern Ireland, down in Cranwell, and that was a great experience because it was really good to see just like the wide range and the just sheer talent of like cadets at such a high level. It was a really good experience.
The sports, the athletics and the swimming as well. Also take part in football, volleyball, team sports throughout the year as well. So it's a pretty big part of squadron life. It gets you a sense of team, a sense of togetherness, work well on a team, a sense of rivalry towards our squadrons brings you together and makes you work better together as a team.
In August, the cadet Pipes and Drums had the honour of beating retreat at Balmoral Castle, in the presence of Her Majesty the Queen, Prince Philip and the Duke of York. Also looking on was one of the Queen's corgis.
What we were doing today is basically a beating retreat for the Queen. Personally, I've done 4 parades and this was the best one I've ever done, and it's an honour to do this. You feel very proud. Her Majesty is having a private audience with you, and it's very special, very good feeling.
Today I've been with the Lord Lieutenant
My main duty today was to hand a joint service baldric to the drum major, and that involved giving it to the Queen. Interesting, I'll never forget it, I'll take it to my dying day.
The baldric, presented to Drum Major Cheyenne Nelson to mark Cadet 150 year, has each of the Cadet Force's insignia embroidered on it.
It's been amazing, an honour in itself. I mean, it's been so nerve-wracking, and then the build-up to it, and it's just wonderful, just absolutely wonderful. First of all, it was quite scary because she's the Queen, so I mean, once you get into conversation with her, she's just a normal person. You just have a normal conversation, and a very nice person, very easy to talk to.
For one cadet, the performance was especially memorable, as he had composed one of the tunes.
It's called Miss Octavia Hill. We got told it would be getting played in front of the royal family at Balmoral. It actually felt really good when we were playing it. It did inspire me a lot. She came around and she was speaking about all the tunes, and she was speaking about my tune as well. And I told her I wrote it, and she was quite pleased because she thought it was quite a good tune.
The Incorporation of Hammermen of the City of Glasgow sponsor an annual engineering competition for cadets in the west of the country. In Cadet 150 year, the winners were 62 Squadron ATC.
We've just done the first robot, which took us about a couple of months, and then that means it'll take us another couple of months to complete the second robot. There was a couple of cadets doing the woodwork, and they just started the outside of the robot and then painted it and then put the stickers on, and there was another group which contained me in it doing the circuit boards, and we had to solder all the components into the boards.
So it isn't the whole drill that's actually used, it's only part of it, like the actual motor. So we use that, and that's connected to wheels, and that turns the whole thing, which is connected to the battery, which powers it obviously. The first competition that we took part in was held by the Hammermen, and in this competition it was the actual building of the robot that it was about. We did lots of diagnostic tests throughout the project just to make sure that it would work when we finally got it finished, and thankfully it did work, so we were quite pleased.
Well, I was quite nervous at the start. We didn't know how good the other team was going to be, so they could have been a lot better than us, but luckily we got to win.
In a year of many highlights, parading the cadet banners at the Edinburgh Military Tattoo over 5 evenings was certainly one of them. We joined the cadets as they were attending a photo shoot and preparing for their second night on the Edinburgh Castle Esplanade.
The good thing is that, as a CCF we get to work with Sea Cadets and Air Cadets and the Army, so it's really good to actually, get a bit more into that and kind of know what we're representing.
Well, last night was just incredible. Just such a proud moment, and a very scary one to start off with as well. I was shaking like a leaf. I've got a more confident approach to it this time. Well, at the moment anyway, but we'll soon see what happens when we're about to march back onto the Esplanade.
Well, it was really exciting because we didn't know what to expect. We marched onto the Esplanade and it was just so overwhelming, just all the pipe bands. It's totally amazing. And you can just tell it's going to be an experience you're never going to forget.
Yesterday was probably one of the most amazing things I've done. It was something I'm probably never going to get able to do again, but because of the cadets I'm able to do it.
As soon as we've marched on, all of the training just starts to run its course and everything falls into place, and at that point it's a mixture of fear and sheer elation, I would say.
I couldn't believe how many people there were. I was just thinking, don't drop the rifle, can't drop the rifle.
Trying not to mess up, don't drop the rifle.
I was thinking, look at all these people, I've never actually watched the tattoo, so actually being the first time watching it was actually being in it. You just think, oh my goodness.
It's sort of a mixture of nerves, excitement, amazement, just wow.
First second or so you're just kind of soaking it in, but then you just try not to mess up. Just focusing on your drills, making sure you do it right. But apart from that, you just enjoy it.
I love this castle, so it's really beautiful, and I've come to see this show every year,
and I'm so happy to be in it, and everyone's staring at you and you had this warm feeling inside you and you were really proud.
Well, it's celebrating the 150 years of the cadet movement, and there's been a lot of drill displays and drill events this year.
We're here for the ship launch of HMS Duncan. We're doing the guard of honour on the street lining for the boat itself. Street liners will line from where the VIPs come off the boat till they get on the box, and the guard will greet them at the box itself.
It's great pride to be part of such a big celebration. We've done a selection weekend at HMS Caledonia, and it's quite a hard-working weekend. Get selected by the drill staff.
I'm in the guard, so we get to march in front of the ship and meet all the VIPs, so a really important job. I feel really proud that I've done a lot more than a lot of other people my age can say, so I feel privileged to be here.
Cadets are very much part of the local community, and no more so than at the time of remembrance.
Thank you.
Thanks.
The Festival of Remembrance in the Caird Hall, Dundee is attended every year by the Cadet Forces. But in this Cadet 150 year, it was a special event, as alongside the standards of the British Legion were the national banners of the Cadet Forces.
I'm here today in Dundee at the Caird Hall as the Lord Lieutenant's Cadet to represent the Lord Lieutenant, who is representing the Queen for this Festival of Remembrance.
No, definitely important. The only cadet in Dundee with Lord Lieutenant's Cadet is an honour. It's really good. It feels like you've achieved something. It's good to have people looking at us and maybe want to be in the shoes, like younger cadets who's standing up on the stage. So I do feel like I've achieved more what I'm doing there.
Definitely emotional. I'm marching with my cane on my arm and the veterans at either side. It brings a sense of proudness to you.
And the festival included performances by the Northern Area Sea Cadet Band and the pipes and drums of the Angus and Dundee Battalion of the Army Cadet Force.
I'm here as part of the Sea Cadet Band to play my trumpet. Well, first of all, I started playing off my trumpet in my school, and then that gave me opportunities into the Sea Cadets. It's very important. It's one of my things that I would like to do when I'm older.
I play the bell lyre. It's like a glockenspiel, but I only played it because it's easy to learn because it's got the notes on it. To start with, it's nervous, but as you get into it, you feel quite happy to be doing it, and then you're like, well, I'm doing it for a good reason.
The Sea Cadets, it helps me a lot. It gives me courage and confidence to go out and do different displays at different places. Plus, it helps you a lot with reading music and just developing your skills with playing your music. It's really enjoyable. You get nervous, obviously, but it's a very good feeling.
In this video, we've seen just some of the major events of Cadet 150 year in Scotland. But there were many other events throughout the country, giving the cadets the opportunity to showcase their activities and engage with the local community. And we'll leave you with the thoughts of some of the many cadets who have simply lived the adventure.
Make sure you put them the right amount.
I just got really interested in the cadets and just wanted to try my best to see what I could achieve
When I got promoted to Lance Corporal, I was over the moon.
And the activities we get to do, like kayaking, sailing, it's really interesting, it keeps you busy, you know, something really useful to do, I feel like.
Everybody in cadets, you know you can trust them, you know you can rely on them, and you spend a week constantly by someone's side working with them, and you really do get to know people for who they are.
If you don't follow the rules, you're undisciplined, cheeky, you don't follow orders, then you don't get the good stuff. If you don't work for the cadets, they won't work for you.
I've met so many different people through it, and I'm still liking it, even though I've been in here 5 years and I'm still enjoying every minute of it.
It's definitely great opportunities, and it really does stand out on like your CV or anything like that.
Everything, it's like the getting up in the morning, the doing things for yourself, the getting taught how to do things, working your way up in the ladder. It's set you up for future life, you know. It's, when you get out there, you're going to have to start at the bottom before you get somewhere. And it's just shaping it a bit of person, I'm more mature and more, you know.